What's up, everybody? Do a little mic check. Make sure mic's good. If few of you guys can throw in the chat. Cool. Awesome, guys. So yeah, obviously I'm not known to do these pop-up live streams, but this is probably the craziest day in my crypto career, and for many different reasons. And I don't really have too much structured things I want to go over here today, but definitely want to share my thoughts and share some cool data. I wouldn't say cool, but some interesting data, and just kind of see where we're at here. Because I mean, I watched it live. I was, out and about, but I happened to sit down, made a few posts, and essentially, I was getting some alerts, and then I start watching the charts and watched the entire thing live. And I was looking at liquidation data. I was looking at the cumulative volume delta, all the order flow data. I was looking at the order books, and I'm like, what is going on? And then each step just continues. And sure enough, I watched everything from the start to the bottom, and I just never seen anything like that. If you guys were around during COVID, this was very, very similar to COVID. And the only difference is that the market was way smaller and there was nowhere near as much leverage in the system. So that was the big difference compared to COVID. But the magnitude of the move was the exact same thing as COVID. And to see some of these altcoins drop as far as they did, I put a tweet out that this was a coordinated attack, and that tweet has went pretty viral. It looks like it's going to be my most popular tweet. And, essentially the reason why is because we got to think about this. 5 p.m. rolls around. Trump comes out and says that, 100% tariffs on China. The fact that this move happened so fast, it's like there's no possibility everyone was right at their computer, their phone, saw this and said, oh, tariffs on China. It's not like we haven't heard that before. Let's go sell everything all at once. That's just not right. It's not how a market should move. And a lot of people got wrecked. So I wanted to share that as well. Like, I think some of the numbers were 10 billion. I haven't shared a lot of data on here, but I basically capture a lot of my own liquidation data for the top 6 coins on Bybit, OKX, and Binance. And my data shows about 4 billion. So the rest of that's just all small altcoins, basically. The rest of that, 4 or 5 billion, because most of the liquidations happen on Bybit, Binance, and OKX. And, I have been capturing this data for a long time, and I've never once seen this level of magnitude before. And essentially, a lot of large players got taken out as well. And I'm hearing some things that a big entity got taken out, and that's why this happened. Originally what I shared on Twitter was market makers pulled their bids. So, some of you guys probably don't fully understand what that means, because it is complicated. And I'm not saying you don't know you don't know how it works, but essentially the only reason that we have markets is because market makers provide liquidity to the market. And they're basically putting orders in the book. So when you market buy, you're getting a good price. You're getting a price within a small spread. And what happened here today is that market makers completely pulled their bids. So I've looked at a lot of this data, but I wanted to spin up this stream as well because, there's a lot of cool stuff that we can look at here that I haven't even really dove into. Like, there was one thing I'll pull down here. I was looking at on Trading Light. Like, we look here on XRP, and we could see, look at this order that kind of just popped up down here. If we could put this on, this is a 1 minute chart right here, and we could see, like, if we drop down here, and we can see all of these, thick order books, as we can see, thick, the yellow, green, and then we could see how this just starts getting thinner, and just nothing. Nothing at all, absolutely nothing at all. And that's how these coins move this fast. It's because these market makers, think about XRP was at $3 last week. We moved all the way down to $1.20. Who in their right mind would have orders below $2, unless you just had them sitting there? Not many people, right? So these market makers have to support these coins. And when the market's crashing this fast, we gotta imagine their systems are running, repricing all of their bids lower and lower. And what are they doing? They're just providing exit liquidity in a crash. So a lot of these market makers were basically filling people's sell orders, at 230, then down to $2, then down to 180. And what do you think happens down here? They're holding all of this inventory that's already down 50% in 10, 20 minutes. They have to step away. They have to step away and pull that liquidity. And that's how these things free fall like this. So that's a little breakdown of like what I meant by this was a coordinated event. This was a coordinated event because nothing like COVID happened. We literally had Trump come out and say something about China and tariffs. And you're telling me that caused an 80% crash across alts? Not a shot. Not a shot. So whoever is behind this event, because some people might disagree, but I won't let anyone convince me otherwise. There are some entities and some people that are behind this event that were coordinated to let this market fall this deep. And a lot of them had orders down here. I mean, this is just XRP, right? But a lot of people got filled down here, especially on perpetual trades. This is just the spot market on Binance. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of different markets here, guys. We have all these different exchanges. We have, perp markets. We have futures markets. And they got filled. And the reason why that's pretty scary is because, the question that all of us have is what happens after that? To me, this was a bear market that happened in basically an hour. So, this is really an unprecedented event. And I really don't have much words, especially during it. I did not have much words, So that's kind of my intro of what I meant by this was a coordinated event. I think, over the next week or two, we're going to figure it out. And I have a lot of this data, but it's going to take me a long time to really dive into it in a granular level. I want to look to see who pushed down what at what time. A lot of the order book data that people capture will tell you if liquidity was getting pulled at what time. And there's going to be some forensic analysis on this because of how, vast this event was. So there'll be more to come from me as well. I'll start doing a lot of deep analysis. But like, for example, I have a data capture system that has been basically capturing trades for some time now. And my system kind of broke in a way. Like, it didn't fully break, but when this all happened right here, we were hitting levels of transactions per second that I've never, ever seen before. Like, if we go down here and we look at this sustained transactions per second, I mean, if we give an example here, guys, like this volatility, when I said that this was the highest volatility we've seen maybe in history in crypto, look at this is the last 7 days of transactions per second. Just to give you guys an idea, like this is how it normally is. We're usually, 2, 3, 400, and this is across Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, XRP, Doge, and Sui on the top 3 perp exchanges and the top 6 spot exchanges. So we could see like this was such a sustained level of volatility that, this is just, really, there's just no words for it. Like, and I know a lot of you guys are probably looking at this and like, what is he talking about? Well, I've been looking at this for almost a year now. And to me, this is just bizarre. Like, this is truly unprecedented levels of volatility. And the reason why I say that is because I have a lot of data here that we can look at. But like Binance specifically, I lost some Binance data within this whole crash. We can see I had some straight lines here. I don't know exactly. I haven't done a bug analysis on if this was a Binance WebSocket problem, but I'm gonna get the data back, and that'll give me a full picture of what exactly happened here. But like, we could see just kind of off the top of our quick analysis here, that this was obviously a coordinated, like if we zoom in here, most of the entities were pumping. I mean, dumping a lot. Besides Coinbase, Coinbase is a whole different story. We don't know what they were doing. This is CVD here. Coinbase was not dumping at all. Binance obviously running it down. You know, the perp market's running it down. If we look over here at like the aggregate data, 25,000 Bitcoin sold on the perp market in basically 2 hours. You know, I don't know what that USD is off the top of my head, but 25,000 Bitcoin. I mean, a ridiculous amount into thin, empty books. So really just an unprecedented event. And this one you guys will like. This is basically the liquidation bubbles. So if we look over here and put this a little thinner here, we can see all of these green are liquidation bubbles, and the size of the bubble is the size of the liquidation. And as we can see, like if we zoom into here, right, you know, every leg down, a lot. But this leg down, basically within 1 second, $72 million was liquidated. We could zoom in even more right here. $72 million liquidated within basically 10 milliseconds. So, you know, very crazy shit here. And like I said, guys, this is not, you know, this stream's just ad hoc. I just running through things. Hopefully you guys find it interesting. I have no plan here. I just want to show you guys some of the data that I'd be looking at otherwise. So yeah, let me take a look at the chat. Give a little break to catch up here. See if there was anything interesting you guys said. Targeted by a large scale proxy attack earlier today. Oh, CoinGlass. Yeah, makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. Brandon says no longs left. He's literally right. I mean, there's no way that you had a long position on any of these altcoins and they're still available. You know, as crazy as that sounds, like there's just no way. Like how would you have held a leverage long position when most of these things did 60, 70, 80% on the wicks? So, and that's what I'm going to get into is what happens next, because I'm sure that's what we're all wondering. This day will be called Rugtober. Absolutely. It was criminal. I believe it was. Absolutely. I think it was criminal. How do you move forward with any charting after an event like this? Keep hearing damage has been done. Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. Damage has been done. A lot of people were just taken out in a very, 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 you know, crazy way, should we say? Like the way that somebody was taken out in this manner was unprecedented, you know, because just like my tweet said, you gotta give some empathy to people. You can't just say, hey, don't touch leverage, because think about it. Yeah, we you know, there's risk management, but there's also a point where you can't, you know, risk manage a 80% crash. I mean, most people did not think that we're, you know, trading on chain, you know, little meme coins anymore. Like the top 100 were acting like that. So, you know, you need some empathy for people, because a lot of people got wiped out. A lot of good traders. And I heard a lot of people doing victory laps too. And it's like, hey, I'm not saying that there weren't any bearish signs. Of course there was. We could always find bearish signs. I can go up on the chart right now and show you guys bearish signs. But that wasn't the point. You know, it's not the point of, oh, look, you know, I called this. I was warning you. You know, it doesn't matter if you called it. Nobody in their right mind expects a maturing market to have this type of move. Nobody. You know, nobody. And it's not like we're just talking about tiny little coins. We're talking about $100 billion market cap coins saw 30 to, you know, 80% moves. I mean, Sui on Kraken dropped 96%. Think about if you were a spot trader and you had a stop loss in. Bam. You know, who got filled down there? Those are really the questions to be asking. And, you know, I think hopefully we get some more answers here, because in my honest opinion, this was like, if I'm just going to give an initial feeling on what happened here, a lot of people got filled on positions very low at levels that we never thought would hit on some of these altcoins. And what's about to happen, you know, with these ETFs as well. It's like we're about to have all these altcoin ETF gets launched, right? And all of these coins just got completely rinsed. Nobody has a leveraged long position on it anymore. If you happen to bottom tick, congrats, but you know, that's like, you know, you were basically trading something that was ticking 5-10% every, you know, second. So, you know, it's a pretty interesting thing. So So yeah, what else? Anything else you guys had in the chat? Swing high. Yeah. How do you move forward with the? Yep, I said that. You check dark pool data. I'm not into dark pool data. I only have exchange data here. Yeah, stop losses didn't even work. I've heard that as well. Did any of you guys like have positions that didn't trigger or something? Like, was there, problems happening there? So I'd be curious to hear that. I'd be very, very curious to hear that. Well, yeah, I mean, look at, I don't think I changed it yet. Or actually, I did. I think I did here. I mean, we go back. Let me see if I could just, yep, here we go. Like, I was bringing this up here, guys. Like, this is a prime example of what happens when market makers completely step away. I mean, look at these spreads here, guys. Like, for a little bit of time, think about this. For a little bit of time, you could have been buying, you could have bought $1 million of XRP on, say, OKX, send it to Bitstamp, and instantly made 25%. I mean, the fact that algorithms weren't arbitraging this quick enough just shows you guys how many people got blown out and how low of entities are actually controlling this market. I shouldn't say controlling, are keeping the market stable, providing you liquidity if you want to buy and sell. The fact that we had, I mean, look at this. This is 10 minutes where Coinbase was trading at $2.50 and everything else was trading at $2. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. I mean, stuff that I never thought we would see again in crypto. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys as well. Like, this is stuff, sure, we saw this in 2019, 2020, 2017. Now, though, I mean, nah, absolutely not. So, yeah. 3 million in bids on XRP for Binance at $2. We'll have to take a look at those order books here. PTSD will be massive. I mean, you're not safe on perps at all. You're not wrong. I mean, a lot of people just stepped away from this market. I mean, I could feel that too. I got liquidated before my coins even reached their liquidation prices. Yeah, that's because a lot of the liquidation engines on these exchanges were probably just completely failing. Just completely failing. And look at this, guys. You guys will find this interesting. Well, I had this as the thumbnail because, I mean, these are the altcoins on a 1-minute chart. This used to be the top 100. I haven't updated in a while. I mean, look at this. DYDX down 85%. This isn't even showing wicks, guys. This is just showing candle closes on a 1-minute. And, I mean, look at the bounce back here. Incredible. Absolutely incredible stuff here. So, and I'm gonna share my thoughts here in a second on what I really think's happened next. But one other thing, look at this. Korean Bitcoin was trading 12% higher at the low. Coinbase was trading up to $3,500 higher. I mean, if any of you guys looked at this, we've never seen anything like that. We saw it here. This is probably a data artifact. This isn't. This isn't a data artifact. Still right now, Coinbase's Bitcoin is trading $200 and $300 higher. Never seen stuff before. Oh, my bad, guys. One second here. Forgot to switch it over. My bad. But what I was showing is like this over here. If we go on a shorter time frame, we could see Coinbase's Bitcoin is trading $3,000 higher. Korean Bitcoin trading up to 12% higher. And then the thing I was showing you guys before that was this right here. This is basically a spaghetti of the top 100. This was a negative 85% in, we're talking an hour, 30 minutes. So just unprecedented stuff. Never seen before type of stuff. Still digesting it myself. Truly amazing stuff. And yeah, so, this is my thoughts here, guys. If I clean this up here, just throw on total, and let's just get a clean look of, what the charts look like here. Start up higher here. So this right here was a chart that I posted probably 3-4 days ago. And essentially my thesis was that this is how tops are put in crypto. They're put in very fast. They're put in very quick, right? Every top that we've seen, it was not put in the way we were just trading for the last 2-3 weeks. The way we were trading the last 2-3 weeks was a vertical accumulation. You can see this is a vertical accumulation here, right? That vertical accumulation is what you see before continuations. We saw that back here. We see that right here. A few other points on like Bitcoin I could show you guys. Even right here, we can consider this kind of, not really, but it's more of like a sideways move. And that was one of the theses that I was like, hey, data has proven, I mean, we're going back to 2018, a long-term top has never been put in this manner, ever. This type of price action is not how tops are put in. They're put in quick with a lot of euphoria and a lot of greed, right? We didn't have any euphoria of greed right here. We didn't, right? We didn't at all. We didn't have any euphoria or greed up there. We sure had it here. We sure had it here. Definitely had it here. But right here, we didn't. So that was one of my theses of why, we were at the point where, let's pull up RTY right here. And I'm sure you guys remember, like, a lot of us have been showing this. I have as well. Like, we're at the point of a big breakout, and that was a pretty obvious thing. Once again, we had, 15 years of data to point us to the fact that we had a perfect pattern of a 1-2 rejection and then a push. 1-2 rejection and then a push. Same thing right here. 1-2 rejection and then a push. Sure enough, where were we at right there? 1-2 rejection and then a push. So, of course, we didn't break out completely, but we were on the edge to say this was, a point where we should expect the market to maybe do a fast move. And sure enough, we see this happen here. And of course, the stock market doesn't look like crypto. I mean, way different. We don't know this is going to happen on Monday, but the point stands that this right here is not, it didn't tell us any type of emotion of what a top looks like, any type of anything. Maybe a short-term top, sure, but we're talking about a multi-year bull cycle is going to top like this. I mean, come on. Let's look at how crypto topped in 2018. I mean, quick as can be. Blow off top. That's what happens right here. Blow off top. Blow off top. And then we see this right here, the opposite of a blow off top, right? So if I'm really being honest here, it's this simple. The cycles are over, and there's no such thing as a 4-year cycle anymore. And Bitcoin's now going to act like a stock market. And that right there just cleared out every single possible leverage position on 95% of the alts. And we're going to base out and go higher in Q4 on the coins that still look fine, like Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's still at 114, guys. Bitcoin could be at a new all-time high in a week. Sure, a lot of these coins look way different. I mean, even Ethereum, though. Look at my chart on Ethereum, guys. Looks completely fine. It looks completely normal. I mean, at least as we speak right now, we're still above all the important levels. We're still above. Let me see if I can pull up my old chart here. Look at that. I haven't touched any of this. It's like we still flipped a massive resistance to support. And, look where we're at. Other coins, different story, but Sol even. I mean, Sol looks fine. Sol hit my magnet from last month, but Sol looks fine. Completely fine. Trying to think of anything else that looks fine, because most of them don't. But, I guess you got to look at some things to say, is this market done with or is it not? But if we really think about what just happened right there, and we even look at XRP as an example, and we see this size wick right here. I mean, guys, think about that. Think about all the orders that got filled down here. Definitely some, not many. Maybe not anyone in this chat or a few of you guys, but think about what just got filled right there. And think about the point where we were at total, and thinking about the point we were just at in the RTY, right? We were right at the point. And then here, let me add some more, a cherry on top. Right at the point on total 2, where we were going to break out of an all-time high for the first time in 5 years, right? Right at that point, right there. And then we have the biggest liquidation event, clear out all the leverage longs, make people think it's completely over, make everybody step away, be disgusted with crypto. And then what logically happens next? What logically happens next? Do we just slow down like that? Sure, it's a probability. But usually you spend time at tops and grind your way down. You don't do a 60% move in a day. That's not, that smells like, it smells like exactly what we've been talking about. It smells like this, just at a weird time, It smells like this at a weird time. So that's my initial thoughts is the 4-year cycles are over. And that was actually, like, jokes aside, the final shakeout. And we're going to chuck up until, potentially up until the end of the year. And that's probably hard to believe for many. Even for me right now, even saying that, it is hard to believe. But if I think about what just happened in these order books, if I think about how many people just got taken out on a stretcher, if I think about what the charts still look like, I mean, even total still looks like, technically speaking, if this closes up here, this weekly candle, I mean, this chart still looks fine. I mean, I'm sure you guys can agree, like, look at that. If we can close this candle here in a day, I mean, technically speaking, the chart still looks fine. And we're looking at the total crypto market cap here. And then even so, it would kind of go back to my whole thesis that that's how a top's put in, not like that. That right there is how a big wipeout, where any single person who had a leveraged long position on an altcoin is gone, is out. That's what that looks like to me. So, these are just my initial thoughts here, guys. I just wanted to share it, I've been around the block with this market. I'm sure people have way more experience than me, but I've really been looking at this market. I haven't been a week without looking at this market since July 2017. I've been through each of these. I have memories of each of these moves right here. I can tell you where I was at and what I was doing throughout every single move in this chart. And to me, it just doesn't make sense that was the top. And I'm fine being wrong, because this market's so much different now. No one ever gets everything right. But to me, the smell of this event, the way that it happened, the timing of it, the place we were at right here, the way that gold has been moving, to me, I don't see this market, and I don't see all markets just finishing off just in this, let's hang out up here and then just do that moment. It seems like with everything that's happened, these markets need to finish off with something like that. And of course, we're going to have some things to be watched in the next week or two. A lot of things can change here, but those are my initial thoughts. It's really a crazy time. And I hope anyone in this chat, didn't get completely obliterated. Myself, I didn't have any longs open. So, leverage side, I was fine, but I still have a lot of spot positions in this market. So at one point today, my net worth was down about 50% than it was yesterday, about maybe 40%. And it wasn't a fun time because to me, I didn't think this market can do stuff like this anymore. I didn't. I did not think that this market had this type of stuff in it anymore. I just didn't think it. I thought that these days were over. Here, let's put it on the Kraken. I mean, come on. Like, this is just like, I mean, you know what I'm saying here, guys? Like, what is this on a top 10 coin? Just crazy stuff. Super, super crazy stuff. So, questionable future, yeah. But the fact that all these spot ETFs on these altcoins are about to get, approved, I don't know. This feels pretty weird to me. Feels really, really weird to me, right? Because I'm not a big conspiracy theorist. I love thinking about the conspiracies, guys, but like, what's if all these issuers, Sui has an ETF, right? Doge has an ETF that's about to come out, right? XRP is an ETF that's about to come out, right? Sol does, right? What else? I mean, there's a few other ones. And why did some of these coins drop 70-80%? And how hard would it be for some of these issuers to have orders down here and just gobble up a ridiculous amount of supply? You know, just throwing it out there. Not saying I believe it, but it's just something interesting to sit back and think about, because to me, this is not natural. This shouldn't be happening in a market this size, in a trillion dollar market. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the next, week or two comes out with. If we hear nothing, we hear no fund got blown up, nothing happened, makes things really questionable. And as a few of you guys have said in the chat, it's at, we're at a point in crypto where it's like, what is this anymore? It's all this magic internet money, and what is it doing? And what's it for? If it can do moves like this, I mean, come on. You guys know what I'm saying? I mean, it really, yeah, he says it looks illegal. It literally looks illegal. I mean, you're telling me that this is how, a $100 billion market cap coin's going to move 50 billion. Wasn't on my bingo card. Definitely was not on my bingo card there. So yeah, trying to think of anything else cool to share. Let's pop back over here and see. I showed you guys some of the aggregated. I'll show you some of the aggregated data here. This is aggregated liquidations. We could see, go to the last 2 days. We could see, let's put this on a shorter time frame right here. Let's see here. We could zoom in a little bit, get a little view of these liquidations. What's interesting is that, the first one was like, okay, yeah, decent amount. But then the second one, that second leg right there, $550 million in a 1 minute period, guys. Let's put it down to a 10-second time frame and see. In 10 seconds, we had $200 million liquidated, Absolutely incredible stuff. Need to backfill some of the data, so this is not going to be perfectly accurate, but we can look at what exchange was, sold off the most. And sure enough, $1.3 billion of Binance positions sold off, or sell pressure, should we say. Over the last 2 days, or let's just do the last 6 hours. Let's see what we got here. $600 million market sold is really what caused this. And even since the low, look at this. Since the low, guys, people continuously market selling, people panic selling, We see perps over here, $3.5 billion of perps market sold on that as well. And we could see what's cool is, we look at these liquidations here, guys. This is why I love this data that I have. We go on to the smallest time frame. Let's zoom in right here at this exact second. This was a millisecond here, 1719. Let's pop over the exchange CBD. And we could see 1719 right here. Actually, nothing's really showing because that's the aggregated. Let's take a look at the full aggregated here. And nothing too crazy actually pops out there. Just trying to look for the CBD footprint of these liquidations, because if you guys are curious, what happens during a liquidation is it gets market sold. So if you have a $1 million position getting liquidated, that's actually a $1 million market sell happening right on the books, So that's the interesting part about that. You can look at the per exchange deltas here. Let's see. Last 12 hours. See Binance, yeah, missing some data on here on Binance. What's interesting is Coinbase. Coinbase was not really a big, they did not add a lot of sell pressure to this, which is pretty bizarre. They really didn't. Like, this was mainly Binance and, Bybit and OKX, a lot of perps, of course. But like Coinbase itself, they did not sell much, which is pretty weird to me. Very, very weird to me. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else cool here to take a look at. We could take a look at, see what the order books look like right now. Let's see if they've got any type of replenishing happening. Let's see what we got. Yeah, a lot of orders got replenished here on Binance Spot. Let's see here. Coinbase, that's funny. Coinbase only dropped to 180. So the market makers on Coinbase are not the same as the market makers on Binance, Bybit, OKX, etc., which is pretty crazy stuff. Because, you know, how do you explain 170 and 125? That's a big difference. We're not talking about a few percent there. You know, that's like 30, 40, 50, 30, 40, 50%. That's interesting to see here. Let's see if I can pull anything else down over here. 1 second, guys. Let's take a look at the Binance, the Bitcoin books as well. Bitcoin books, let's go on a shorter time frame here. Nothing really. I mean, order book completely empty, back to where we were, which is just crazy. I mean, nothing up there. You look on Coinbase, let's go on a shorter time frame here. Coinbase kind of replenished at 107, but still thin as can be on both sides, which is pretty immaculate. So yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff here. Let's see what you guys had in the chat. You guys are yapping in the chat here. Oh man. You compare the first tariff announcement and now regarding volume, because volume looks very different. Yeah, that'll be interesting. We can definitely take a look at that. Basically seeing it's an AI supercomputer. I have a theory that China responded based on the tariffs. They hold a decent amount of mining power. They know the U.S. is trying to build a crypto allocation. They wanted to retaliate. It's a good theory, but, you know, that would probably mean that China is, you know, making the markets on a lot of these major exchanges, which wouldn't be a cool thing. Remember you buying the bottom of the February 2025 tariff cash? Interesting. XRP fell to basically the same price this time. Yeah, I actually was in a position to bottom tick that one. This one I was a little too frozen to really place trades. I didn't understand what was happening. Thought things were massively breaking, so unfortunately, I didn't get any bottom ticks. And I shouldn't say unfortunately, because people got wrecked, you know, so yeah, it is interesting to say that, because look, these wicks are very similar. I think you're right. Trading Light doesn't have that on here. Let's pop back to TradingView here. Take a look at XRP USD on Coinbase, and let's see if that took out the lows. Wow, it didn't. That's pretty crazy. Huh. This is what the chart should have looked like, you know. The chart should have not looked like that. That's where the scam comes in. You know, the amount of liquidity that was taken out down there. I mean, absolutely insane, guys. Just incredible. Speaking of that, I'm going to take a look at XRP. Take a look at Market Monkey. Actually, I could pull it down here. 1 second. Take a look at here. I don't really use Market Monkey too much. Really haven't been using much at all, but just want to take a look here if the perpetual markets looked any different. And let's see what we got here. So if we go on a short time frame here, 5 minute, no, just absolutely empty. Nothing at all. Coinbase, let's take a look at Binance, Bitcoin's perp. Anything crazy happened there? No. Just looking to see if there was any orders sitting down here for a while, but no, there was not, which is really weird. It's really weird to see. It's very weird to see. So yeah, guys, I mean, overall, I just believe there's a bigger thing that happened here. And interestingly enough, the charts don't look absolutely terrible. Like the top charts, should I say, you know, total, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they still aren't broken like some of the other coins are. So that's really what I think the question's going to be over the next week and a half, is if this thing could base out here, we could even start trying to go back up here. I really think that the whole idea that this was just the craziest liquidation event someone can conceive of happened, took out every single person, and then here we are, you know. I think it would make sense. What do you guys think? You know, what do you guys think here? I want to hear what you guys think. And if you guys want me to check out anything specific, feel free. Like I said, I didn't have any specific plan here. Just wanted to spew some thoughts because crazy activity, crazy times. This doesn't happen a lot, and this is probably gonna look back in history. So, you know, so yeah, for sure, this fear manipulation. Perhaps I didn't know what would happen. Is there any chance of a weekend short squeeze? It's a really good question there. It's a really good question. Let's take a look at open interest. Let me pull over open interest here. And let's go back here. So we could take a look here at open interest. Open interest on Bitcoin completely nuked. I mean, this completely nuked down to levels we were at 95. So this is going to give you the example of, did a bunch of shorts enter? Did a bunch of longs enter? And by the looks of it, nobody wants to enter. You know, I mean, look at how much price bounced, but open interest has been sideways, you know. We can look here at funding rates. Funding went positive, which is bizarre. That means people were longing the crap out of it after we basically up here, people started longing the crap out of it. So as for a short squeeze, I don't think that the ingredients are here for a short squeeze now. I don't see any sign of ingredients of a short squeeze. Because if we look at this open interest, this is going to show us how much positioning is in the market. Nobody wants to trade this right now. I mean, people have been continuously closing out positions, you know. When price goes up like this and we deviate, shut off this heat map. Price goes up like that, but then open interest continues lower. That means people are not interested to trade this. People have stepped away. Oh wait, I guess this is good to see. Maybe my system wasn't the problem because they're missing data here as well. So there's a potential that Binance's data streams went down. Gonna have to do some investigation there, but that's crazy to even say. So yeah, to answer your question there, I don't think that this has the proper ingredients for a short squeeze. I don't believe so. I think any short got squeezed like down here, you know. So yeah, any other questions you guys have? Would love to chat about anything. You know, I got some time. And throw in any questions. Anything you guys want me to look at? Anything else you want me to expand on? Feel free. Look at ADH bar. They backed. They said bear market accumulation with their wicks. Oh man, let's take a look at that. Actually, for the fun of it, how about this? How about we scroll through the top 100? Seems pretty fun. Or let's see if you guys had any other questions there. Oh, a question. Based on history, is a V or a W reversal more likely during a liquidation event? Honestly, based on history, what you'd want to see is something like this. And then we'd want to just kind of just W it out like that. So I'd say more of a W. Because we're going to need to spend some time here, in my opinion. I mean, if this market can retrace this all the way and is up here in like a week or two, then this is the biggest crime market in history and people need to go to jail. And I'm not even kidding. Like, the damage that this did to the order books, regardless, I think time needs to be spent here, and then the hope is that, you know, we don't dip too far on a W. We kind of just chuck back up. I mean, let's take COVID, for example. Let's take COVID, for example. You see what I mean? Like, if we take a COVID fractal, this is really what this was. I mean, this was that right there. That's exactly what this was. Let's see if we can copy that. Put this onto XRP. Oh, man. It's not cool, trading view. Let's see if we can clean this up a little bit. Let's see, to give us some type of roadmap of what it should look like. Uh-oh. Man, I don't think that's going to work. But yeah, you guys get the idea. I mean, that's really what you'd want to see. And just to me, it's like, I don't know. I just can't see that not being a low for a long time. You know what I'm saying? It's like at this point, like if this is going to happen here, I don't see that happening. I just don't see it. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. First, why is the 20th? What's the play now to recover from the loss? What would you recommend? I know just your opinion, your personal strategy to recover. Well, it depends on what kind of loss you have, Johnny. Tell me what kind of loss you have. Would you say the XRP chart is broken or still intact? I mean, it's broken, yes. But to be honest with you, I feel better that we went down here than if XRP was just trading right here right now. As funny as that sounds, like if XRP was just trading right here at 240 and we're just doing this, I'm like, oh shit, you know, and then a week later we're down here, like that'd be a problem. But the fact that we did a 60% move in an hour, that makes me feel more comfortable because of the nature of what a liquidation event means. A forced trade that, you know, everybody got forced here. This was a forced positioning. And it creates like, it should create power to go higher in a bullish environment. So lots of wallets failed too. Data was unavailable, so suggest Oracle problems. Yeah, there were some problems for sure. No Oracle problems, pure crime. Yeah. Oh man. What do you think? Did you guys see even Trump said that his meeting with C was in place? Hot wallets, it's not an Oracle. I'm dying. Guess a lot of people are going to jail. Fire dog. Oh man. Believe crime too, but I can imagine the Oracle's failing, causing a bad feedback. Honestly, that could be true. That really could be true, actually. That's an interesting thought there, that this could have happened due to corrupted data feeds. But if we look here, you guys might find this one interesting. If we look here, like, if I take out, this was during the whole event, and we can see, this is my last trade timestamp on all these. This shows me what was having problems. And I'm pretty sure, like, if we just go to Binance, I think Binance was cooked for sure. So Binance spot was intact, basically. Binance perp was the problem. You can see Binance perp was having a big problems. Bitstamp's data feeds were completely fine, which is funny. Bybit spot's data feeds were completely fine. Bybit's perp's data feeds were pretty much fine as well. Coinbase's data feeds were fine. I know that for sure. Hyperliquid's data feeds were fine. So yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting point, but I think what he was saying there, which is an interesting thought, is that think about it. All these market makers, guys, they rely on these instant WebSocket data feeds to make decisions, right? If there was intermittent problems where they couldn't get data on what was happening in the market, their systems couldn't run, and it would cause cascading failure, right? It's an interesting thought. I don't have enough evidence to say that, but I don't, by the looks of it, I don't think that was the case on most of these. I don't believe so. So yeah, let's see what else you guys had. Can you take a look at the leverage heat map? Honestly, I don't look at leverage heat maps because it's just a fake thing in a way. So I'm not big on leverage heat maps personally. Sorry, got late here. Any thoughts on XRP? Got wrecked harder than the likes of XLM. No thoughts besides people just pulled their liquidity. New figures, 20 billion of liquidations. I'm not believing that, to be honest. Double, thanks, man. I appreciate it, Johnny. My thoughts with you. LO most to Bitcoin whenever you get a chance. This is priming for it. Yeah. Yeah, so trying to think of what else I was going to share there. Oh, I wanted to take a look. If you guys want to just take a look with me. Let's scroll through the top 100 and see what took the most damage. Put on a 1 day here. And I'll quickly say what charts are still fine and intact. Bitcoin still fine. Ethereum still fine. XRP questionable. Better than a lot, but not as good as Ethereum and Bitcoin. BNB, whole new story. Sol still fine. Doge, very questionable. Tron, it's stairway to heaven, so no questions on that. Cardano, you know, better than most as well. Chainlink, holy crap. $7 wick, incredible stuff. Hype looks fine. Stellar, yeah, Stellar's I don't know. Each time I look at this and I just see that these lows were taken out like this, I just see us just running up next. So Sui, incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible stuff. Bitcoin Cash looks fine. H bar also just took out a bunch of lows. AVAX. AVAX has been looking really bad for a while, so nothing to say there. Litecoin, oh man. Can you guys believe yesterday we had a 2017 blast from the past and this happens? I mean, come on. If that doesn't tell you who's controlling this market, I mean, come on. Incredible stuff. DOT, I mean, these coins are just done for. I mean, just, I shouldn't say done for, but like these charts were just broken way before. So it's hard to say anything about those. Like Pepe looks terrible. Aave, wow. Almost hit that perfectly. Pretty crazy stuff. Monero looks fine. Funny enough. Tau, Ethereum Classic, man. Hit a new bear market low. It's incredible. Near. Ondo, man, still rejected right off there. Ondo really took a hit. Aptos, that thing's been dead. ICP, that thing's been dead. It's incredible stuff right there. iNetwork, oh man. OKB. I'm going to see if anything pops out. But everything's kind of, you know, echoing the same stuff. Most of these coins, they're just very questionable stuff. So yeah, it's pretty broken on most of these coins, if we're going to be honest here, guys. Broken to the point where it's like they've been in a bear market this whole time. You know, this whole year, these coins have been in a bear market. I mean, it's incredible. It really, really is. I mean, we could see all these coins. These things have just been in bear markets all year. As Bitcoin's at all-time highs. I mean, this market's just way different than it used to be. And yeah, it's just crazy stuff. Let's see if we got anything else cool here. Tia, oh my. Oh my. Jeez. I mean, look at this. 83% in a day. In a day. Optimism. 77% in a day. Even Quant. Unfortunately, this thing's... Man. Loki. 83% in a day. Ethereum name service. Wow. I just still can't get over this stuff, guys. I mean, it truly is incredible. I sit here and look at this, and I mean, this is just insane. I mean, you're in a, 3 years, 1,300 days of a, 600%, 85% range. And then you do 93% in a day. Brandon says this does look COVID chart-wise. It literally is. Worse than COVID not looks is. Yep, worse than COVID. This is literally worse than COVID. Bitcoin, no. But for these altcoins, you guys are seeing it here. This is worse than COVID. Especially put on these logarithmic charts here. It really tells you the vast move of these. Holy crap. Dog with hat. 92% in a day. Incredible stuff here. Tezos, Sonic, Virtuals, Radium. Yeah, just a lot to take in. A lot of different thoughts I have. Yeah. Look up Zcash. Thanks, Tom, for hosting this impromptu. Yeah, guys, I'm not sure. I'm hope to add a little bit of value or just some entertainment, I guess, in this time. But usually when stuff like this happens, I need to process it myself, but just so crazy. I just wanted to spin up a live stream. Thanks everybody for joining. Hit the like button as well if you guys haven't. Yeah, trying to see. You guys are pretty supportive. Pretty supportive chat here for all your guys' buddies. Very cool stuff. Holy crap. Look at Sandbox hitting 2021 levels. Oh man. Do you guys now see why this is just I mean, no words. No words, guys. I mean, come on. Like, what even is this? I mean, what even is this? I mean, look at this. I mean, look at these wicks. It looks like I'm looking at, like, I don't even know. I mean, this is just insane. It takes a lot to shock me, but this is leaving me shell shocked here, guys. Looking through this top 100, top 150. Ohm, oh man, feel bad for the Ohm holders. Down 99% since March, man. Rune completely smoked. Arweave completely smoked. Also was a decent coin last year, 2023. I mean, jeez. Bitcoin SV, Popcat. So yeah, I mean, jeez. Sorry guys, just crazy stuff. Hopefully you find this interesting too. I love just scrolling through this like this. Even when I'm doing good analysis, happy times. But right now, it's just crazy. And then you look at Zcash. I mean, holy crap. Like, what the? This is just bizarre to me. Truly, truly. I mean, you got a coin that looks like this that was literally dead. I mean, dead for the longest time. Did nothing for 3 years, right? And then you look at something like, I mean, what else was crazy? You look at this, and then look at this. I mean, it's just incredible stuff. So yeah, I mean, truly, truly incredible stuff here, guys. Trying to think of anything else to look at here. Yeah, one thing I want to say, everybody, like, if you did get wrecked today, just know that, we always have more opportunities in life, in this market. There's absolutely a bunch of opportunities. Money is never important enough to think anything's over. You could always hit rock bottom and continue higher in life. And, I just don't want anyone to think that money should impact you in a way where you have somewhere to live, you have food to eat, and you have friends or a family. Even if you have yourself, it's better than a lot of people in this world have, So don't let our magic internet money, the performance of it, make you go down, 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 because, life's way more important than that type of stuff. It's way, way, way more important than anything like that. And to be honest, I hate to even bring this into AI, but like, we're going to learn that over the next 5-10 years. We're going to learn that when everyone realizes that work and money is meaningless. It's completely meaningless, because working is going to be a thing of the past. Money, the importance of it or the use of it is going to be something that will change drastically over the next 10 years. And it's going to push everyone to, I think, become a little bit more positive. A little bit more positive, a little bit more just grateful for life, because life is very beautiful, and people get too caught up in the 3D stuff, and the stuff that just has to do with the 3D world, and especially money. Money rules most people's lives, but don't let it. And, you could always come back. So just want everyone to realize that, because I see some people harping on the timeline, and, even myself, like, no, I didn't see this coming. I definitely did not see this coming. I mean, not a shot that I see this coming. And I don't think anyone did. Some people were bearish, absolutely. But when we say bearish, we don't mean the total, or we'll pull up others. We don't mean others is going to drop 60% in 2 hours, So, and these people, they don't care. All they care about is being right. They don't care that some people got taken out on a stretcher. Some people got completely, obliterated. And everyone's like, well, it's your fault. You shouldn't be trading perps. Don't touch leverage. Guys, you got to have empathy sometimes, So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Some people hurting out there. And this is the sad part, guys. This is the sad part. That 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever it is, billions of dollars that got liquidated, guess where most of that money went? It went into the wallets of people that are already very wealthy and institutions that are already well off. That's the crazy part about this all. Is the liquidations don't go to the exchanges, guys. The exchanges make money on fees. When you get liquidated, your money does not go to the exchange. It goes to somebody else. That money's going back to the market. And, that really is a crazy thing to sit back and think about. It's a crazy thing to think about that throughout this right here, billions of dollars got transferred into, people that are just trying to make it, people that are trying to make money, people that are trying to break out of the system, the cycle, not have to work, whatever it may be. And it got put into probably the people that orchestrated this whole move into their pockets. So it's a crazy thing to think about, guys. It really is. It really is a crazy, crazy thing to think about. So yeah, and on the bright side of things, I am being honest with you guys. There is very well the chance that this was the greatest shakeout in the history of crypto before we have our blow off top style stuff. It is absolutely a possibility. And it is absolutely a possibility that some of these coins that look absolutely wrecked spend a few weeks doing something like this, or like I said, they just start doing that. It is absolutely a possibility. 100% it's a possibility. So, it's not all doom and gloom yet. I don't think that anything makes sense in terms of history. So we can't look back and say, oh, because of this happened, this is going to happen. This is a completely unprecedented time, unprecedented stuff we've never seen before, never experienced before. And we don't know what's going to happen here. All we can say is just, use a little bit of our experience and say, well, when this happens, it usually is bullish. I mean, think about when this one happened. So you guys were around August of 24. Look at what happened after that. COVID, look at what happened after that. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. And yeah, if you guys have any other questions or anything you guys want me to look at, I'll be glad to. And then what is it, 8:15 here Eastern time for me. Probably wrap it up in 10, 15, 20 minutes, unless you guys have anything else crazy you want to look at or talk about, want my opinion on anything. Be glad to chat it out, because days like this are pretty crazy. And, they don't come around a lot, for the good or for the bad. They really don't come around a lot. So it's pretty interesting stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here on the data side of things that I'd be interested to show you guys. Really just the liquidation data. I mean, incredible that someone got taken out for $69 million on Bybit. That's absolutely incredible stuff. $69 million liquidation. Pretty crazy stuff. Let's see what's going on over here on X. It loads. What is X down now? Not sure what's going on there. See what you guys said. Sending vibes here. How long until I get back in? Chilling is right. There's a stop loss for a reason, but some people use leverage, 2-3x, super low liquidations, just booster bags. Even they got wrecked today. You are absolutely right, Brandon. People that were, had the best risk management, best approach of leverage, even got wiped out. So you're absolutely right. Screw legitimate rich people. I bet some really rich people are throwing a fit. Also very true, Brandon. He's absolutely right there, guys. And, you know, that is a good point. But there's a few rich people that I think are really happy right now, which is pretty sad to say. But I mean, you know, if you're trading 20, 30, $40 million long positions, you know, you also potentially got wrecked there. So it's a very interesting thought. Well, let's see how that tweet went here. 4.6 thousand likes. That's a new one for me. It's pretty crazy that became my most popular tweet. Pretty crazy stuff. Let's see. Can you check my reply on your top 20 liquidations posts? Yeah, let's take a look here. Someone lost 69 million, sucks for them, but that will teach them to don't use leverage. Oh man, it's the exact type of energy you shouldn't be bringing to the table here. Interesting. Huh. Volume is really low compared to first tariffs. That is really interesting, actually. Yeah, that is, I'm trying to think of what that says, because that is pretty bizarre. Very, very bizarre. Volume is really low compared to the first tariff announcement. If we pop back over here, let's see if that's the case for like perps. I wouldn't imagine. See, I don't even really use volume bars on here. Let's see here. It's pretty weird. It's very low volume. Huh. I mean, it's pretty high when you look at like this on perps, but right there, I mean, woo! Look at this RSI, guys. We're at a 12. We've been at a 12 3 times over the last 3 years. Anytime it happened, it was some type of bottom tick, which is interesting. Let's see here. Let's see on Bybit. I can imagine Bybit was the highest. Yeah. Look at that on Bybit. Crazy. Let's see on Coinbase. Holy. It's actually also lower than the April crash, which is, well, that's actually the February crash, but yeah, I'm not totally sure what to make of that at the moment. See Bitstamp. Bitstamp, nothing crazy as well. Kraken. Also nothing crazy. I mean, we saw crazier volume then. So yeah, that's pretty bizarre. XP monthly still looks decent. Silver close. Good for the end. Hope you're doing well, Dom. Thanks, Sebastian. For popping in. Appreciate you guys. Let me make sure. Is the stream still running good here? Let's maintain smooth streaming. You guys still hear me okay? Does the video look like it's fine? Stream all good? It's telling me YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Now the internet's going to get rugged here. Interesting. Okay, cool. Okay, you guys say it's fine. All right, yeah, I'm trying to think of any final thoughts here to share with you guys. I mean, shared a lot of my thoughts on, you know, what I think this means, the data. I'm excited to dive deeper into it, potentially get more of like a rundown of like, you know, what exchanges kind of added the pressure first if it was very, you know, aligned to look at the different spreads between the markets. Because to me, that's the most bizarre thing, to see XRP trading at $2 for 10 minutes and then $2.50 at the same time on Coinbase. Really weird stuff there, guys. That's not something, not stumping stuff. Quick turnaround from hopefully one of the weirdest days. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I just can't get over the fact that this happened from Trump saying that tariffs on China. I think that was just the reasoning. You know, that's not what, that was maybe the pin, but that's not what caused it, if you guys know what I mean. Like, I don't think that's all that it caused. You know, I don't think that's like, it was only that made this happen, but I guess we'll see. I guess we will definitely see here. Let's take a look at if this is any bit of a similar fractal as COVID. Larry Fink said break it. It's really nothing like COVID. I mean, this part is like COVID, I should say. Just the point of getting there was not really like COVID. You know, Bitcoin at all-time highs. It was not the same at all. Yeah, this is going to be bizarre, guys. It's going to be a crazy next few months. Because, you know, if you even look at the COVID style crash here, I mean, if we follow that, it's going to take us until the end of the year just to get back to $3. So, you know, it's interesting stuff. I'll have more thoughts here soon. If you guys had, thanks, Dom. I wonder if this was also a stress test. This was definitely a stress test. Absolutely. I mean, by far, this was the highest volatility event, in my opinion, in crypto. If that makes sense for you guys. I don't think that there's been a day in crypto that had more trades and more volume overall. Maybe volume, but the volatility and sustained impact of the trades that were happening in liquidations, I don't think it's ever happened. I don't think it's ever happened before. Arbitrage bots would have a field day. Would have. That's the crazy part there, Preston. Absolutely crazy part, because we had 10, 15 minutes of ridiculous arbitrage opportunities, and they were not being arbitraged. So it's an interesting thought. Great stream, Dom. Do you think it was orchestrated for institutions to buy their ETFs? I'm not going to say I think that, but it would make sense. I mean, would it not make sense to get filled, you know, sub $2 on XRP right before a spot ETF goes live? Would it not make sense to get, you know, filled on sub 12 cents, you know, 10-cent Doge before a spot ETF went live? It would make sense. Like, if we're gonna be honest here, it would make sense. May frame this as a way to place more regulations on crypto. Yeah. Mooncake, thanks for hopping in. With USD spine spot 80% in 11 minutes and 1,200% in 1 minute. Oh man, let's take a look at that. That seems pretty crazy. Jeez. I mean, seeing wicks like that, guys, I mean, that is just incredible stuff. Those wicks were 1,100%. Oh my. Jeez. It's just crazy stuff. You may frame this as a way, yep. Well, 2017 gave me PTSD. Rugtober, where's the crown now? Yeah, I think I agree with you, man. Absolutely. SDC is the best policy at this point. Yeah. ETFs, Dom. Yeah, Michael. I mean, if people want to buy these ETFs, now look, you know, they got some discounts. Imagine people getting filled, then liquidated after. Horrible. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely agree with you there. We wanted institutions, and now we got them. How about that, guys? We wanted institutions, and now we got them. We got the institutions, guys. What do you guys think about that? The institutions are here. crazy stuff. Bitcoin dominance. I don't really have any thoughts on that, to be honest. What I do have interesting thoughts on is the fact that USDT dominance did not hit. USDT dominance did not hit the same level that's topped this market the whole cycle. Look, March 2024, bam, topped. January, December last year, bam, topped. This top, USDT dominance was nowhere near that rejection level. So I guess before I'll wrap it up, I'll give you guys my my reasoning why I'll give you guys my reasoning why, if this was the top, this would have been the weirdest top in history. I'm going to give it to you guys real quick. So let's see here. We got the USDT basis on here. Let's put the spot premium back on here. So here, I'm going to show you guys something real quick, and then I'll probably wrap it up here soon, unless you guys have any other questions or anything. So the reason why, if that was the top on Bitcoin, it would have been the weirdest top on Bitcoin, is because I'm sure you guys remember, the spot premium, all the talk I've had with this, publishing it, talking about what it looks like as, when the spot premium flashes, right? So as we can see, this is the first reason it would be the weirdest top. So each of these pumps that we had, the big March pump of 2024, we hit 70K for the first time. See this? This is a very deep perp premium. This means that the perpetual markets were trading way higher than the spot markets. What does this mean? This means that people were really excited. We had a bunch of greed. Everybody was, long and throwing a bunch of money at longs, right? And that's how a market top happens. People are euphoric. People are greedy, right? And this is the perfect indicator to capture that. So that's one thing. Even we had a mini one right here. Bam. The next time, same concept. As we can see right here, same concept. Korea was bearish. Perps were going crazy up here. Sure enough, this called the top where we dropped 30% after, right? Right here. Tiny little bit. Called the top, we went after. This one, this top, no signature at all. Nothing at all. No signature of bearishness. Coinbase premium, very bullish, meaning that people were putting money in the market. Kimchi premium, Koreans were bullish. Spot premium, continuously stayed, right? We've never put in a top without losing the spot premium. Look at the 2021 high. Look at this. Spot premium. Spot premium was completely lost. Euphoric. Everything tanked. This time, nothing. Nothing at all. So that piece of evidence alone is enough to tell me that this would be really weird if a top was put in. And also, too, because of this. You look at total. You look, and if we really just sit and think, if you just sit and think what this means, if you think of it like the auction market theory, it means that we traded at a price and nobody accepted value up there. So it went back down to where people accepted value, right? Make sense? Same concept here. Went super high, big wick. No one wanted to do business up here. We went back to accept value to where we thought. Same concept right there. Same concept right there. You know, let's put this on a linear chart to really get more of the concept. Flying peak, 58% in 2 weeks. The total crypto market cap did 58% in 2 weeks. Bam, went back down to value, right? Same concept right there. Bam, big peak. That was the top. And it looks like a top. It looks like the top of a mountain, right? That one even right there as well, obviously. Right there, right here, right there. Same concept. Hit a level, came down, accepted value a little bit, and then went lower because when there was never acceptance up there. This looks nothing like that. No euphoria, barely any move. I mean, we're talking, what is this, 15%? 17% from the low to the top. Many touches, plenty of chances to exit. See all these chances to exit. Vertical accumulation, historically a bullish pattern in crypto. No spot premium. Perps weren't super bullish. You know, that just doesn't, that even forget about the past. That's not how a market puts in a long-term top. It's just not how it usually happens. And that doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means probability-wise, it is low. So those two reasons just keep me on the edge to think this was the biggest wipeout in history before we ultimately do go higher. And the cycles are ultimately over. That's the bull case. You know, so if you guys were curious what the bull case is, that's it. And then one last thing. The bull case is that the Russell 2000 is going to break out of this resistance. If it needs to do this again, fine. But it's going to break out of that resistance. And it breaks out of this resistance anytime we do that, crypto goes crazy. Anytime we do that, crypto goes crazy. I'm sure a lot of you guys watch Blockchain Backer. I'm pretty sure he talks about this as well. So yeah, see if you guys have any other questions here, and then throw in your last questions. Anything else you guys want me to cover here? And yeah, we'll wrap it up. Good little stream. Hopefully you guys found it a little bit of entertaining as well. When it comes to trading, could you give us a ranking on what you think is most important? VWAP, trend lines, moving average, etc. Yeah, I mean, I think that the base of trading is to learn your levels. So this horizontal levels are arguably the base foundation of any type of trading. You know, obviously manually trading. And then trend lines. And then VWAPs. That's really what I'd put that at. Master horizontal, then diagonal, then VWAPs. Put those together. You could do a lot of stuff. You could do a lot of stuff with those. You could be very, very good with those. Level of greed in this market is unparalleled. Straight up criminals like CZ have been running the same old coordinated market manipulation for years. This bull market has been AIDS. Yeah, Justin gets it. Do you find it strange Gemini AI got released in June? We hit lows and one got released 3 days ago, and now this? Just something I noticed. Which Gemini? You'll have to tell me. Okay, don't believe me if you want. Folks, honestly, if you're not a knowledgeable trader and here to change your life, stay away from leverage and buy spot bags during days like today. Put a 10-year timeline and wait for gains. Not a bad move, but some people can't wait 10 years, you know? Some people are trying to make it now. And you got to take higher risk to do that. Next time, I'm all about to say no euphoria. Yeah. Remember this feeling, and if you only have $200 to invest, toss it in 5-10 years. Yeah, huh? Hey Dom, appreciate what you're doing. Love your work. Just entered the stream. Could you please highlight what we should expect from alts? Just Sol, F, XRP, please, if possible, when they top. Yeah, I mean, I've shared a lot on that. If you want to rewatch the stream once I close it off. But overall, I mean, I think that we're at the point where that was a low, or you know, we are screwed. Ethereum still looks fine, in my opinion. Like, granted, this candle closes this way. Ethereum does still look fine. Bitcoin absolutely still looks fine. You know, you don't want to spend a lot of time down here in the near-term future, but for right now, Bitcoin doesn't look broken. XRP, harder question. Structured technically should have broke out right here. I mean, that's how the chart should have looked, you know. But, you know, if we're thinking back to what we talked about for months, 190 is really that level that's like, you know, you go below this, we're cooked. And not like this, you know, you accept below this and trade there for more than 2 minutes, you know, you're cooked. And then Sol still also does look fine. You know, Sol does look fine. And I guess my last thought here is something like Total 2. You know, you look at this chart here, and very similar concept to what I said. I mean, you know, we're going to hit a resistance 6 times, and just that was it. It'd be pretty peculiar. It would be very peculiar, and it'd be a very weird thing to happen. Just on all my experience in this market, it'd be a very weird thing to happen. So that's also something I'm keeping in mind there. And then, yeah, I think that's really it. I guess the last thing is, let's see what happened here. Holy shit. I didn't even pull up this chart yet. XRP, US oil. Yeah, this is what we've been watching here for a long time, guys, and you know, unfortunately, I mean, looks like it's accepted back into its range. The fact that it took out those lows is insane. Literally 20 minutes before this happened, I posted right there that the chart still looked fine before Trump came out with that China tariff stuff, and then bam. So, yeah, I mean, your hope here is that it regains this in a week. If not, back in the range. Back in the range. Fear and greed throwing wrenches like patches. Yeah. What would you say ETH and XRP would top at? Sorry. I mean, to be honest, I can't even talk about tops right now. You know, if this market would go higher, because I mean, we got to worry about this market not just, you know, being over with. I think that that's really the main worry here, is not really looking at price targets. Look at price targets when these moves get reclaimed. DC backer losing his mind. RTY didn't break out in 7 days. Yeah, I mean, you know, it could spend time up here and still break out. The thing that really caught me is just the pattern. 1-2 rejection, breakout. 1-2 rejection, breakout. 1-2 rejection, breakout. And you know what's funny? Is each of these 1-2 rejections were during a crypto bear market, or at least starting from here. That was a crypto bull market. That was a crypto bull market. That was a crypto bull market. And look at where we just were at total, where we were at total 3, Ethereum, sold near all-time high, trying to break out, XRP at near all-time high, trying to break out. And then, you know, we get this whiplash here, but it's like, it was right at that moment. It was right at that moment to expect a follow through and a breakout. So yeah. Mentioned this earlier in the chat, 540 days till halving. Yeah, I mean, one thing I haven't updated, guys, is, you know, I hate to say it, but let's see if I could find, let's see here. I mean, look at this, you know, 2015 bottom till top, 1,067 days, 1,060, 1,045. When did I post this? This was posted October 1st, so about 10 days ago. Right now we're at about 1,055 day, which is pretty incredible. This is with the idea that the bull cycles will continue. But that's something that I don't necessarily believe. I don't think that these cycles are going to continue the way that they have. I just don't. I think that things are so much different. I mean, if you guys just sit back and think about how much different things are. You know, how much different things are. This whole cycle, everything, the way it's acted, the way it's moved, how alts have acted, the monetary system, the economy. You know, why would this cycle play out perfect again? It just seems way too predictable at this point. Just my honest opinion with it. So, yeah, I mean, that's my honest opinion with it. I can't believe this tweet went crazy like this. That's pretty crazy. People really like that, huh? Oh man, funny stuff. At least what excites people. Very interesting stuff. So yeah, guys. I think that that's all I really have for today. You know, as I said in the beginning, I didn't really have anything. I just wanted to spin up a stream, share some stuff, get some thoughts out there. I know everyone's, you know, I mean, this was just crazy. It really was, and I'm still processing it myself. I'm still processing it myself because this is, you know, from watching every single event in crypto, even FTX. This tops FTX in my opinion. This tops FTX. What's going on here? Oh man. But yeah, guys, I mean, think that that's it. If you guys had any other last questions, be glad to cover them. But otherwise, that's really all from me. You know, I'm gonna let the market do its thing the next few days. Mainly, let's watch to see how the stock market opens on Monday. That's gonna be interesting. You know, it's yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be super interesting. Brandon says so much value to be gained from watching you process it in real time. Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking what I am, I usually do streams when I have a very prepared thesis. You know, I usually prepare for my streams. I don't do them too often, but like my streams usually I got some notes, I got some preparations. This stream really was just kind of, you know, ad hoc, just throw it around. What's up, Cade? Thanks for popping in, man. We just chatted a lot. What do you think about this, Cade? What's the deal here? Is it over? Or is this the shakeout before the breakout? Ethan says, if you had to give a percent, what's your opinion on the fact that crypto topped? Well, let's bring it back to what I talked about for a long time here, guys. And what I talked about to keep me bullish. Keep me bullish at the 73K low, bottom ticket entry. You guys remember down here, we were bullish down here. All the reasons told us to stay bullish, and that was a good position that we got ourselves into. Let's go back to what brought us there. From what I'm hearing, this is the shakeout, but it was quite a drop. It was quite a drop. Some of the alts we were looking at earlier did about 85%. Michael says people need external reasoning, and the coordinate event helps with that. I agree, Michael. I don't know how long you followed me, but like you probably know I'm not the person that's like this conspiracy, like, you know, saying all this, that, manipulation. Like most of the time, when people think moves are manipulated, I'm like, no, that was just the market. This wasn't just the market. There's a big story behind this one, and we may never know. No, we may never know. Going back to the question on the percent that we topped, I can't be over a 50% that we topped until Bitcoin's trading below 107K. And Bitcoin's trading below the monthly, I mean, the yearly and the 50-week moving average. So Bitcoin right now, I mean, structurally speaking, technically speaking, you could only have about a 20, 30%, confidence level that it's topped. Below here, you're starting to teeter around 50%. Get down here and no reaction, probably down 60, 70%. Under here is an 80% chance we topped based on how markets move, how these VWAPs work, and how these high time frame moving averages work. So hopefully that makes sense. Adam went to 0. Adam literally went to 0. Sheesh. If Bitcoin goes below that, do alts just retire? I mean, most of the alts already retired. They signed off like 2 years ago. The only alts that still look good, guys, I shouldn't say good, but still look okay. Ethereum, XRP's teetering on that point of still looking okay. BNB, obviously. Sol still looks fine. TRX still looks fine. Hyperliquid, I mean, that's a clear trend change over the last 6 months. I wouldn't say that one looks fine. Litecoin, funny enough, still looks fine. Monero still looks fine. You can see we're still above yearly VWAP as well. Zcash obviously still looks fine. But yeah, beyond that, I mean, there's nothing else to me that looks fine. Everything else is just broken. It's been broken. And if you guys have followed me for a while, I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about this. Did it on the Wolf Spaces with Cade. Talked about this for a long time, how most of the alts they're over with. They've been done. There's no bids left on them. So this is not new on that aspect. CRV looks bad as well. I mean, this has been in a bear market since 2021. I mean, sure, you could push out of here, but it doesn't look good again until we're back above 90 cents. He says, please Litecoin. Please Litecoin. Yeah, Litecoin is Litecoin's an interesting one. I mean, it looked good, it looked good yesterday. Now, who knows? Ethan, how can I add your VWAP thing to my trading view? Do I need to pay for it? No, you don't need to pay for it. I don't think you need premium either. If you just type in VWAP Suite, Community, Trader View 2, multiple VWAP Suite, 458 stars. Yeah. Can you check Algorand? Sure. Let's take a look at it. Cade said he's going to get the Wolf Squad to crash the stream. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Algo, I mean, it's also been in a bear market since 2021. I mean, this is, I don't know. It's just hard to think that, and you guys got to keep something in mind here, guys. If total and if Bitcoin and if everything that I'm talking about here, Russell 2000 actually gets its breakout, and this actually is, the shakeup for the breakout, these coins will absolutely go higher. But they'll do this when Bitcoin's at 150K and some alts are way higher. And then once that's over, they're going to go right back down here. Like, these alts are done for, in my opinion. These alts will never go up higher like that. Out of all the ones we just scanned through, they'll never see their time of day again. Dot. I mean, this thing's never going to do this again, in my opinion. I'll put high confidence on that. Even if we get a little push over the next few months or whatever, this was the shakeout. I mean, maybe we could see that back to where we were the last 3 years, but it's done for. So in my honest opinion, guys, like, I don't know. Just me personally, I would not be touching 98% of alts, 99% of alts. I would never touch them again. I'd only open up trades on them short term. So that's my honest opinion there, guys. I mean, for the 115 people that are still in here, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. If I had one piece of advice, It's pretty simple. You're still in this market and you're into it every day, and you don't just want to hold Bitcoin and whatever other coin you think is going to do well, which, like I said, most of them are done for, then I'd either put your energy elsewhere and really just, walk away from crypto, hold some spot bags if you want, or you got to dedicate yourself to learn how to trade. And you got to dedicate yourself to learn how to trade like top 10, top 20 coins, because that's where the opportunity's left. That's where the opportunity's left. The opportunity is not left in buying these coins thinking that they'll do anything like 2021 again. Those days are over. So that's my advice to anyone in here. If you were in that little weird area where, you don't really trade, but you still are into this every day, as respectfully as I can, I think it's a waste of your time unless you're going to dedicate yourself to learning how to trade consistently, profitably, which, yes, can take a lot of time and it's very hard, but it's, it's a skill set that is going to actually be very valuable when all the jobs are taken, or most of the jobs are taken, from AI. That's what I always tell people. If you know how to trade, you're gonna be able to support yourself for much longer than most people in this world, which is crazy to think about. But otherwise, if you don't want to trade, buy Bitcoin and whatever else that you might think. I really don't have confidence in many other things, and just go on with your life and put your energy elsewhere. That's my advice as someone who this has been my life since 2017. Watching it turn into what it is now. So hopefully that makes sense to some of you guys. What about XLM? Yeah, XLM, doesn't look terrible. Definitely doesn't look terrible. This took out all the lows down there. Yeah, it doesn't. XLM actually still looks okay. XLM can do this and do that, and then who knows? Maybe mid next year we get a pump. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not going to sit here and act like I do. This is so weird, and this is such a weird time that anyone who's talking like they know everything, they might get it right, but that's all for ego. If you want to actually play this market, there's a time and a place where you guys have seen me make decent predictions, but that doesn't happen. Not every single day am I calling stuff with this high confidence, because that's not how markets work. The best traders I know are wrong more than they're right. Just when they're right, they make a lot more money than when they're wrong. The best traders I know, they're not going out there and trying to predict stuff nonstop. It's just not how it works. That's coming from someone who's made amazing, crazy predictions these last 8 years. But people that think they always have the answers, that's just for an ego clout victory lap at some point. And right now, I'm telling you guys, I don't really know at this moment, besides the stuff I've shared this whole stream, besides walking you through my thought process of everything. But beyond that, I don't have many other thoughts, at least at this moment. That might change in a week or two, and I might have more of a confident thesis of what's happening here. But all I know is that Russell was about to break out. Total 2 was literally about to break out. Total put in patterns that have never marked a top in history. Bitcoin put in signatures that don't ever scream a top and haven't in history, at least since we've had perp data. No big top has been put in without these signatures here. And we just had the biggest liquidation event in history. That's all I can say. And that's all we really have. But my feeling, my intuition tells me that the end's not here until things get crazy. And I don't think things got crazy enough. I don't think all these ETFs are going to launch and Bitcoin's became as institutionalized as it is, and money printing is as crazy as it is, and gold looks like it does, and none of that bleeds into crypto. it would just be weird, you know? The probability is not in that favor. That doesn't mean that it can't happen. It's just the probability is not in that favor. So, yeah. Thanks, guys. What happened to your Telegram channel? You know, I've just been working on a lot of stuff recently. Obviously, I still post here and there, but I've been working on a lot of stuff, building a lot of different things. So I haven't had the attention that I used to in this market. And, you know, Telegram was kind of an extra thing that I wanted to share with some of you guys. And maybe someday I will revive it. But for now, I feel like I share, you know, enough stuff for doing it for free for so long, you know. So yeah, guys. I think that's really it. Big cope here. Well, I'm not coping like some people are. I mean, I didn't have a $69 million Bitcoin long get liquidated, so, you know, for whoever that is, you know, I feel for them because it's a crazy time. So yeah, guys, I think that that's all I have for tonight. Hopefully things do get brighter here. But yeah, all I can say is crazy time. Thanks everybody for joining me here. It was a fun, what was it? About an hour and 50 minutes, about a 2-hour stream, fun stream. And yeah, I guess throw in your last few questions if you guys had any. But otherwise, I'll wrap it up here in just a few minutes. And yeah, I'll continue to obviously update new things that I feel and see. But otherwise, I shared all that I could today. All that I thought coming from, you know, myself who's seen everything in crypto since you know, in the early days. And this one topped a lot of it. I think this was the craziest one. You know, this was a crazy one. This really was the craziest one. So yeah, I guess the last thing I can show you guys is, you know, one of my dashboards here. If you guys are curious, I basically have, this is Bitcoin's last trade price by exchange. It's really cool because I can get so granular. We can get down to 20 millisecond intervals or 5 millisecond intervals. So I could see who makes moves happen first. I can see at a granular level that no one else can, because this chart is made up by trades, not by time. You know, this is made up only by trades. So if we look here, like what was one of the big fast moves recently? If we look at this dump right here, like I could see like who triggered this first. We zoom all the way in, we could see that Bybit was the first one to kind of pull away from the pack. And then everything else kind of followed there. And then Bybit again, bam, pulled away from the pack. We go to perps. I'm sure we'll show something interesting here too. Yep, Bybit. See how Bybit's the first push here? See Bybit trigger that sell-off. That's kind of what I use that for. And then I could see over here the amount of Bitcoin that they sold. Someone sold in one clip. I lost that. But someone, I can basically see, you know, how much somebody sold in one clip, or even right here. Like, look, this is somebody buying 300 Bitcoin at market, or this was a short getting liquidated. And if I'm like, hey, was this a short getting liquidated? I could come over here, put my aggregate liquidations. Not sure what's going on there. Where is the loss that I'm not sure what's going on there. But, oh, but that's probably too close actually. But basically, you know, I could see, was that a short liquidation? And if we look here, when this happened, this was what, 2038.15? See, no, that was not a short liquidation. That was somebody actually market buying 300 Bitcoin on the perp market, which is pretty crazy. And then after that, I have aggregate CBD, which is basically looking at all the spot market, you know, adding up all the market selling, CBD by trade size. I could bucket each trade size and get a CBD number to say, hey, you know, who's pushing this? Is this all small orders? Is this all big orders? This right here is just aggregate volume delta. You zoom in very quick and very low and see like at exact moments. It's funny to even look at that, but like at exact moments, you know, what happened here? 2 Bitcoin, 3 Bitcoin, and this is by like the millisecond. You know, it's the most granular data you can get. And this is part of what I've been building a lot of, capturing all the own data. This is same thing for the perps as well. This is spot versus perps, so I could, you know, compare who's winning what, who's controlling what. This right here is the basis. So this is like the premium. Very similar to the stuff. It's one of my favorite indicators here. This is the spot. This is the market order bubbles. So you put this to like 1. Here's all the market orders that happened. This to 3. Here's all the market orders that happened. And look, this was on Kraken because Kraken was so much different than the index price. And I can go through here and see. I could go through here and see exactly who sold what and at what price. So like, we're like, okay, well, you know, what orders over 5 Bitcoin happened? We can look right here. I have the exact millisecond time down to the second, exact price. 26 Bitcoin was sold on Coinbase. You know, and you could kind of see aggression happening here. Same thing with perps, which perps is bizarre to look at. Like if we look at perps, I got to increase this up to like $25 and 25 Bitcoin. We could see like what was the, like here's Hyperliquid. Here's a 327 Bitcoin buy in Hyperliquid. That's some pretty crazy stuff. You know, we could see the aggression. We can see like there's a lot of ways to use this. I won't get into it right now, but it's visualizing the order flow. This is something that no one else had before. No one else has built this, and it's pretty damn cool. Definitely pretty damn cool. And then this right here is liquidation. So this is even cooler. Holy crap. Wait, what's that? A long position on Bybit getting liquidated at 130K. That is very weird. I'm not sure what happened there. But here, if we zoom in here, you know, we could look down here, like look at this. 670 Bitcoin long position liquidated at 519 at 30 seconds EST time. You know, pretty crazy stuff. Then I just have some VWAPs here. This is VWAPs per exchange, which I'm sure you guys haven't seen this before. This is VWAPs per exchange, so I could see, you know, who's selling off the hardest, who's not. This is the deviation away from those VWAPs. So pretty cool stuff. And this is some market impact. I could see per $1 million, how much did the market move? Like, look, $1 million position there was moving the market 1% at the low. I mean, that's incredible stuff. Like down here at this low, like look at that. Pretty crazy stuff. Just shows that market maker stepped away. Pretty cool stuff. And then here's stats. I mean, I could look over the last, like, let's see, the last 12 hours. We had 115 Bitcoin, 115,000 Bitcoin traded. We could see the delta. So over $600 million market sold, 6 billion market sold on perps. I can see the distribution of orders. So that's also a pretty cool thing. I also have that for all the different coins. So it's some cool stuff. And then my liquidation dashboard here. It's just a few of my things. Being able to see the liquidations is pretty cool. I can go through and see every single individual liquidation I'm capturing. I can break it down by pair as well. And yeah, so I guess I'll just end on that. Hopefully you guys found that interesting. Brandon says this smells like $1 million product. Yeah, this is definitely something pretty unique that I wouldn't say many people have. Being able to do some cool stuff. Basically, I posted something earlier. I don't think people understood it, but I was basically just asking how many spot trades happened on XRP from May 1st till now. And I don't think anyone got it close or right, but the answer was 411 million because I've captured every single trade that has happened on Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, OKX, Kraken, Bitstamp, and Upbit. I have every single trade that has happened on those markets. So I can see that data. And it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting stuff, I should say. So, so yeah, guys, first time showing some of these dashboards here. So hopefully you guys find that cool. Definitely some pretty cool stuff. And yeah, I guess we'll finish off by looking if we've stabilized here. This is my full overview of the market, trades per second. So right now things have stabilized, things are down. Still some crazy, still some pretty high volatility for where we usually are, but volatility is definitely stabilized. Then we could see, look, if you guys want to see how many trades, 100 million trades I've captured in the last 6 hours. 100 million trades. That's definitely a record. 100% a record. Let's see which one had the most. I guess is probably Binance Perp Ethereum. 5.8 million of those came from Binance Perp Ethereum. Binance Perp Bitcoin's right behind, or Bybit Perp Bitcoin. Yeah, 100 million trades in the last 6 hours. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. But when things are going well, I have very, very, very low latency. Like latency's like sub 30 seconds from when I capture the trade until I'm able to, take action on it. So it's pretty cool stuff. Definitely pretty cool stuff here. So yeah, guys, I think that's all I have for tonight. Thanks everybody for joining. Seriously, fun time. I shouldn't say fun time, but it was a good time breaking down the data. Hopefully things get better here. Because I don't think crypto's over with. I just don't. The place that we're at with it, like, nothing tells me crypto's over with. And nothing tells me that the biggest liquidation event by a mile is the start of us entering a year bear market. That doesn't smell right at all to me. And everything else that I shared about, Russell, how Bitcoin looks, the data behind it, it just doesn't look anything like a long-term top to me. So those are my final thoughts. And of course, no one's always right, but that's all I can have for today. After seeing what happened today, it's really all there is. So yeah, guys, appreciate it. Thanks again. Yeah. I was thinking of any last final things, but I think that that's all. Just thanks for joining me on the Friday night. Fun time, guys. This looks like we crossed over 2 hours, so yeah. You guys all have a good weekend, and we'll talk soon. Thanks again, guys.